there's the green light.
The mic is yours.
Set time.
You might be wondering, why exactly would you even need a rave? Well, think about it. Have you ever been like this? Crying your eyes out, feeling absolutely terrible in your life, overcumbered with everything that's going on. Well, we have the solution. Come and enjoy our party on March 8th, Liepāja, ALS9. But moving on about the last year's product.
Yes, so we're going to continue to tell you about Maya and Ralph's last year's project. It was festival bracelets. So, the problem was we thought that people were getting lost in huge events, crowded places, and they would lose their company, friends, family. And we thought of our solution, the FastBuddy bracelet, which with LED lights shows the direction and distance to your friends in crowded places and events. To test and validate that, we made a test card. Yes, the problem was only one test card. And because we went only one, we tried to cram everything in, and it was, in the end, really complicated and not easy to understand. Although we made it a bit simpler and shorter, it didn't help the fact that we focused a lot of time on this one hypothesis and then explore and test around our problem and solution more with more test cards. And secondly, we spent a lot of time researching and trying to validate that our idea was possible to make technically and not validating our problem. Moving on.
So, we came up with something else that actually is really for us, and that is Raventa Liepāja. And this is the team. You already know us, but just in case Guido didn't write that down, it's Ralphs, Kristofs, and Roberts. But why, you might be wondering? Well, firstly, that wasn't our idea. We thought of 30 different things that we might want to do, some ideas, some problems that we might want to solve. But the thing is, well, there already are solutions for everything like that. We picked one, which is a place where to find side hustles, but there's GetAPro, Workis, Facebook, and also so it didn't really work out. But so we realized, okay, let's do something that actually is like associated with us. Let's take students and let's take companies and let's try to solve both of their problems. It didn't work out. So yeah, we spent a whole week, basically lost it just like that, and we realized that we have a savior, Alice. She came to us telling, wait, you're already making something, so why not just combine it with this course? And so we did. That's exactly how we got to Raventa. And so this is our product. We have an event happening on March 8th. This is the poster. It's still a work in progress though. And also this is the timeline of everything that we did. We're not going to go through everything sequentially, but all of these have different meanings, but you will basically understand that once we go through all of this presentation. And so to continue our journey, the first thing that we did was try to actually validate our product. And we thought, oh, well, we've already worked with Raventa, and basically they said, oh, well, we have a problem with ticket sales. But is that actually the problem? What is the underlying problem of why people even go to raves? And Aris told us, that is not the problem. Problem is daily stress around responsibilities. At least that's something that we got to. And so we needed to work on that. First thing you do, of course, you make a checklist of what you need to do, but what is this? Kristofs might know.
This is test cards. So this is the paper you fill out to test your hypothesis. So you write down what is your hypothesis, you write what will you do, how are you going to measure it, and lastly, how will you know if it's true or not. So we made the first test cards of our project, sounding like after rave parties, young people feel more relaxed from daily stress and responsibilities, and it's important for people that go to raves to not be alone.
But how can we test them? During the course, we learned that there are actually many ways how to test your ideas and problems. But we chose the most used ones, interviews and surveys. As we can see, it is pretty weak evidence of strength for these two validation types, but still from them we can get in effective way ideas and feedback from potential customers. And as we know, interviews and surveys consist of questions, but to really get a good answer that you can use later to validate your idea, you have to know what is the MOM test. What is the MOM test theory? Basically, there are three main lessons from that. In the fog, you may be only seeing the first step, but actually you can go much, much further. Secondly, nobody wants to see your cry. So they won't discourage you. If you are emotional, passionate, just be bold. And thirdly, your mom encourages even your stupid ideas. So if you design a question that even your mom would give you an honest answer, then you actually know the MOM test and you know how to ask questions. And after you know the theory, Christos will talk about the first survey.
Yeah, so we got to the first survey. And this was the hypothesis that we first wrote. And to validate that, we asked the question, after attending a rave, how do you usually feel the next day? So mostly people said that they were satisfied with the experience, tired and drained, and only 15 of them said that they were refreshed and happy. And that really doesn't prove our hypothesis, but there's a problem with this question. See, we asked if people felt relaxed and happy after a rave, but probably typically people after parties are exhausted and hangover many of the times. What we should have asked was how they feel in the event, during the event. The next hypothesis that we wrote is it's important for people that go to raves to not be alone, and to validate that, we asked what motivated your last decision to go to a rave. And most of them ticked that it's being with friends, having a good time. So therefore, our hypothesis proved.
And without understanding what are the needs for our clients and the problem about stress and responsibilities in their daily life, we had an idea, prohibiting the cameras in the event. So we could make it more exclusive and interesting for the audience. And that's why we wanted to understand if this idea could work. So we wrote a hypothesis that sounds like this: prohibiting the use of cameras in an event doesn't majorly affect the enjoyment of the event. And to test that, we asked our audience a question: how important it is for you to share photos and videos on social media during the event? We can see that most of them, approximately 70%, said it's not that important for them. And basically, our hypothesis proves. But we thought a little bit more about the question, and we understood that we asked if they share photos and videos on social media during the event. Does it actually proves the enjoyment of the event that the audience have there? And why is that? Because we asked too that when was the last time you posted something on your social media when attending the rave event? And we can see that almost 40% posted less than a week ago. That's pretty much. And of course, we asked too, when was the last time you went through past event photos, videos, and on your phone? And almost 65% said that less than a week ago they looked at their gallery and checked what was they doing, their memories from photos and videos. And that means some people actually care about sharing photos and videos on the social media. And also memories are really important for some of them. But and because of that, we understood that our question was kind of shit. And we asked another question to understand the feeling during the event where photos and videos are prohibited. So 11 people said that they have been to an event where photos and videos are prohibited of taking them. So, and to understand how they felt, they said, It removes annoyances. It makes them feel more personal and allows them to enjoy the moment by feeling present. And that is why we created our next hypothesis to understand if prohibiting the use of cameras in an event affects the enjoyment by making everyone feel present at the moment in event. And that's where we started our second survey.
Yes, so we made a second survey and asked a question about how would people feel if in the last event that they attended there wouldn't be a possibility to take photos and pictures. And the answer we got is that 60.9% don't really care about that. But does it really prove or disprove our hypothesis? Well, the problem is that we thought that we are being right if 70% of people have positive feelings towards not taking photos and pictures in the event. What we had for our 60% answers was that they felt neutral about it. So that doesn't prove our hypothesis. And what can we really learn from all of this? Well, firstly, respondents already knew our idea when they were taking the survey the second time. So that might be so people might be, yeah. And the second thing is that people tend to, it is really difficult to make good questions and survey because it's really hard to ask the right questions without without revealing the idea you're working on. And in the second survey, we asked people if how they felt during the event, and that would be really a good question. But the problem was the audience of the second survey weren't all the attendees of a rave. More of things that we learned. We learned that the company of friends is a key thing to going to raves. We learned that more than half of people don't really care about use of cameras. And we learned that the stress isn't really the main reason that people attend these kinds of events.
But for some of the keen-eyed, you might have noticed that we're missing a lot of stuff in the timeline. At least you haven't seen most of it. And so, well, let's actually go through it. We've worked in two ways. We worked on the project and we worked in parallel, which was like non-school related. And so the first thing that we did was we tried to understand the prices of how exactly we should price our product. So we conducted 16 interviews and we came up with this little pricing sheet. And that is actually how it is live right now. And second thing that we did is we worked on posters. Well, this was honestly a major failure, I'm gonna be honest. And well, this design, it didn't go through. We didn't like it, others didn't like it. And we spent a whole day actually just making posters and it just didn't work. But in order to actually meet all the deliverables, we made a website which you can actually visit. We don't have a domain, but through Cloudflow you can still see it. And we also have a different one that is basically already hosted for Raventa, but we just made it just so we can have some practice and actually work on websites. Moving on though, we went location scouting. We found the location where this is gonna happen. It looks a bit trashy, I know, but that's the vibe, trust me. Other than that, we also got some sponsors. All that is already completely okay with us. They said they're going to give us a couple of boxes with D-lights, with batteries. Jägermeister said they are willing to do something with us, but the thing is that basically they want us to use their stuff and we need to buy it and whatever. Jägermeister, we also have stuff with One Touch, with Salt, and so everything is in the works. We already have a lineup of people that are going to be DJing, and so yeah, basically let's move on to now. Next steps, well actually it's create the rave, get some feedback, and then create a rave without cameras if the first one goes well enough. And then again, get some feedback, because how can you improve an event if you don't know what exactly you need to improve on? But yeah, considering our reflections, Rolf?
You probably already have heard that don't fall in love with your idea, fall in love with your clients. And I absolutely agree with that. But from this project, I understood that you can't actually work with ideas which wise don't match with you. Basically, you have to have motivation and you have to like your idea and the problem you're solving. And yes. Roberts? No, Kristaps.
Yes. So my reflection is that it's really hard to ask the right questions without revealing the idea and pinpoint and get out the juice, the information you're willing to get. But because you have to really go around a lot of around a lot of stuff to not really say what you're working towards. And you may ask some questions, and people would answer really different things, and you need to. But what you need is some specific answers. So that's difficult.
For me, there were two main things. One is that when you're working on a product that already exists, it's really difficult to pinpoint what is the actual problem that it's solving. You're not working from the ground up. You're already working from somewhere. And that's something that I found really difficult, something we had to ponder and use a lot of time upon. And the second thing was from a conversation with Christian, is that you fall in love with your product so much that you start tunnel visioning on basically everything that is around it. And you just start to like positively see things like, this is true, this is true. No, it fucking ain't. But yeah, if you are an Alex, customer persona by the way, which is an 18 to 24-year-old student with medium to high stress levels, you enjoy music and being with your friends, you use socials and have a busy lifestyle, well, you should come to the rave. Do you have anything to lose? Oh yeah, by the way, that's not the right one. This is where you actually buy the tickets. By the way, 3 sales already. Спасибо.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
So who's beginning? Alright. Amazing presentation. I just can see you're stepping up the game every single time. Good. Even Ralph's is getting better. Every time you just put be more confident, more confident. I think you're getting there as well. So it's sticking to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I put it out like great timeline, plus on the humor, really cool. I like the graph you used for when you pinpointed the forms and what was else the graph was doing. I haven't seen that one before, that's why I like that you used it. It is from psychology side and on pinpointing the problem, the insight that Kristaps had, that is the mastery basically. How to get the real answers without revealing the idea that you have there. In psychology, sometimes they do, it's called like double blind, when the participant is led by one person and then it's led by the next person, only then afterwards you get to the next, and then by that time you have no idea where you're at and what you're doing, and then they might get the real answers. So that is a really difficult part to do it, so that's why I really like that there was this insight. On the next step was one missing, selling out.
True.
Because if I create an event, you can create it now without the minuses, but selling out was missing there, so I'm kind of sad and saw that one. But I have a question as how this could, like if you would have to make this one now as a global startup, what would be your approach?
Firstly, to came up with an idea that is innovative, something that haven't been anywhere. There's a great example. Who have heard about the boiler room? Yes, those who have heard know what that is. There's just a rave, just a party, but DJ is in the middle of the crowd, and that is their selling point. So we absolutely would start with finding the selling point. What could be the idea, the vision we would try to.
Something unique, like giving massages and praise. That's already somewhere done. So.
Yeah, so we didn't choose that one. We would have definitely done massages and raves.
So that would be a unique selling point, but if you would have to go as a global startup idea, like sell this, like how you would scale this?
Unsure.
I'd say we definitely would sell the vision of something unique, some unique, memorable experience for somebody, for everyone. around the world. So,
Sounds like the Fire Festival.
kind.
Valve still having
Just if about scaling, then of course not only looking locally.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like,
Yes.
globally,
Then
what would be your
trying,
approach?
firstly trying in Latvia, then moving to Baltics, then maybe further and
Yeah.
reaching audience broader.
All right. That was more looking. Maybe you will come up on the stage with creative idea. We will put this all in a licensable, maybe like a product of how you approach the events and how it's unique selling approach, and then you just basically find other producers around the world and you just sell for 5K the way how you do the events and stuff like that. So that was a kind of looking for maybe you can.
That was something that we've thought about because that is how Boiler Room works. They're basically a franchise because the same people don't make the events. You can make it anywhere. Just you need people to actually do it. And yeah, we've thought about it, but currently we just don't have the uniqueness, or we haven't found anything unique, and so not worth it right now.
Just asking the vision.
Yeah, but experimentation is currently the main thing that we need to work on.
All right. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, guys. This really was a great presentation from your side. Truly impressed. I hope the next teams show something similar as well. I have a couple of questions. First is, what were the main conclusions from your side comparing last year's project to this one? What were the main differences? Maybe what did you learn from the last year's project compared to this one?
For me, I can definitely say that last year I looked much more positively onto things. Same thing that I said about tunnel visioning. You fall in love with something and you really start to believe that that is true. And for last year, that was kind of it. But for this year, you start to understand that things work in a different way. And you need to look at things much differently. And it's way more complicated underneath. And having more time really allowed us, at least me, to see that.
For me, it definitely was that we did a lot more exploration and trying to test out more different ideas and get more information, what people think, how they feel about different things, and just to explore more around the topic than we did last year, because last year we only had one hypothesis, and yeah, this year just more broader, get to know the overall view.
A little bit more on top of that, last year at least I worked in a different team, but we also had like around 5 hypotheses. For this one, we had like 8, then we dropped 3 because they didn't really fit us, then we made more, and basically we went through like, I don't know, at least 11 hypotheses, but most of them just weren't really too relevant, that's why we didn't really share them. But yeah, just proving more and working on more hypotheses.
Yes. Last time, I think we felt in love with the idea, and we just started to look how to make it, and not paying that much attention to if there's really a problem for that. We just created hypothesis and survey, so to understand maybe, but we still loved the idea and wanted to create it. And the difference this time was that we tried to lock our minds out of idea and really understand the problem, why people need raves.
Okay, good.
I was expecting someone who says sales. But okay.
That is mandatory on the next year. What are there any deliverables which you have mentioned in the protocol that you didn't manage to deliver at the project, or there weren't some?
Wouldn't say so. From everything that was in the criteria, we did everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't find it somewhere. We should probably just place it in one single place.
It will be
Okay.
much more easier for you afterwards just to check what you have done.
Okay. But yeah, from everything.
And the last question, really quick one. As you have stated, your ideal customer, basically you are all Alex, right? So could you just pinpoint out maybe one or two things? How was the designing of the landing page? What did you take into account regarding the matter, or you didn't take it into account? You just make it as you like it because you are all your ideal customers.
We made it really, really simple. You don't need anything. Once people go to the website, they only need to basically see one thing, and that is buy ticket, or a way to get contact info. And so that's basically what we did. We have events at the top. I can go a bit back. But over here, you have events, buy ticket, which both lead to the same place, about us and contacts, if you need them. What else do you need?
Yeah, and the colors are bright as are there in Rave. So a bunch of lights.
There's one thing that you're missing.
From the psychology side, we are collecting our audiences in social media. We are moving them from Instagram to web page, so they actually doesn't get the information from the web page. We get them in social media. Yes, that's where we.
And one more thing is that we don't know too much about sales. But yesterday from the Cloudflow thing, I already told my insights this morning. But one thing we definitely need to add is a way of getting everyone's contact details, because that's the only way we can actually sell to them. And currently that is something that is missing in the real website. And so that's what we're planning on. We're not going to change the website now because it's already live and we're doing stuff. But for the next event, we're remaking everything on Cloudflow so we can have a better pipeline of selling everything. Because right now we're missing a lot of stuff.
That is a really valuable insight from your side. So because you already through the project you also understood what you need to do better next time when you do it or continue to do it. So okay, we are out of time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want to just add one thing on the Alex, because you kind of forgot to mention how you got to the Alex, but one of the reasons, as I understood through the process, was because when you asked girls, when you buy tickets, they said, we don't buy tickets. Guys buy tickets for us. And that's why there's an Alex, not like ladies there.
There are multiple reasons. One is the survey, other is the interviews. Because from survey we had over 60 response. It was over 60 at first, then we just deleted a couple because they didn't make sense. But yeah, we gathered a lot of information from the surveys that we had. And after that, also interviews, understanding who are the people that go to events, who buys them tickets, and overall, just, yeah, getting info from that.